Come on, really?
Yummy.
Sorry to break it to you. You stay quiet now.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the Starkside. While you're here, please support the channel by hitting the like button. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe as well as the notification bell. Today we'll be talking about the Marvel Legends 2020 Retro Wave Classic Suit Spider-Man. Hasbro has actually been revealing new vintage Spider-Man figures just recently. So yeah, this figure was released in 2020, just last year. But regardless, I still want to talk about this amazing Spider-Man figure. I actually got this figure as an anniversary gift from my girlfriend, so yeah, thanks baby. No packaging here, but just so you know, this Retro Wave Spider-Man figure comes in that cool card packaging here. And yeah, on the top we have that old Marvel Comics logo. It has great artwork that's based on the 90s animated Spider-Man series. And yeah, alright, let's get right to it. Now before we talk about the figure itself, I want to talk about the accessories that he comes with. Besides two head sculpt options, Spider-Man also comes with two pairs of hands. Looking closely at his fisted hands, yeah, they're sculpted very nicely. I like this red plastic that they used here. Yeah, nice web pattern. Yeah, no paint issues here whatsoever. Nice whipping hands here, yeah. This is also sculpted nicely. Nice red plastic. No issues with the web pattern here as well. So yeah, so that's good. I really wished Hasbro included a pair of wall crawling hands though. It would be great to make cool poses with those. They also do this with MCU Spider-Man figures as well. So yeah, it seems like they've been skimping out on us on wall crawling hands. Switching it up is easy. You just pop this off and port in the other one. And if you also have some spare hands from other figures, you can also use them on this Spider-Man if you want. So if you want some gloveless Spider-Man figure poses, you can also use the hands from the 2016 Doctor Strange figure on this. So yeah, this looks very great. And if you also have the previous Pizza Spider-Man figure, you can also use the pizza accessories that figure comes with for this Spider-Man here. So yeah, it actually looks better with the gloveless Spider-Man here. So yeah, that looks very great. And like I said earlier, from the packaging, it looks like this Spider-Man figure is supposed to be based on the 90s animated Spider-Man series. Yeah, if you want to watch that series, I suggest it. It's a great series. But if you look at this Spider-Man figure here, it's not a complete 100% action figure representation of the character there. I think this classic suit design here is based on John Romita Sr.'s Spider-Man. So yeah, you can see that the overall feel and vibe of the red and blue here, it's very reminiscent of his Spider-Man. Taking a closer look at this first head sculpt, I like this. I love what we're getting here. I'm happy they went with this design for this Spider-Man classic suit figure. I actually prefer this design for the lenses over the large ones that come with the McFarlane Spider-Man design. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Nice that they sculpted the lenses here. And I think the paint apps on these lenses are very, very clean. I'm not seeing any black paint bleeding into the white. Yeah, so that's a good sign. I've had this figure for nearly a year now, and I'm glad that at least the head, still looks very clean. Nice web pattern here. I did see some other people receive this figure with some QC issues with the web pattern on his mask here. So yeah, I'm just very glad and thankful that mine doesn't have that issue. Trying on the alternate head sculpt, you gotta be careful when you pop this head out. I'm not sure why, but I kinda think that the neck peg here doesn't look that durable. But yeah, I think that's just me. I like that Hasbro gave us this display option with Spidey squinting, but I also wished that they gave us a third head sculpt option where he has that shocked or surprised or winking expression, or even a partially unmasked Spider-Man. Yeah, I'd like that. But yeah, I'm going to be using the normal mask expression as my default classic Spidey head sculpt. Looking at the rest of the body, I love the sculpt of the muscles all throughout this figure. I think it perfectly shows Spidey's superhuman strength. Nice spider logo here, I love it. It actually looks similar to the spider logo they used for the classic suit in the Spider-Man PlayStation game. So yeah, you could actually use this figure as some kind of Gamerverse classic suit Spider-Man if you like. The web pattern on this figure is generally painted nicely, but there are some parts in the figure where the web pattern is literally off. Like here in the butterfly joints at the back, the web pattern is actually bleeding into the blue. I didn't notice it at first, but yeah, when you start to really play with the figure, the imperfections kind of pop out. But I just try to ignore it as much as I can. Nice spider butt here. It looks like the suit is trying to keep it together. I like the muscle tone here in the legs. Wow, Spidey's been working out. Nice boots, but if you notice here, there's some missing web pattern here as well. But it's not that noticeable like the one I showed earlier. Since this was released last year, yeah, no pinless technology here. But I do wish they painted the other half of the pins here blue, so it's consistent with the rest of the figure. Overall, I love the look and sculpt of this figure. I think it's the perfect classic suit Spider-Man figure from Hasbro that we have as of today. I really love this classic suit for Spider-Man. I'm actually not that big of a fan when Spider-Man suits deviate from the classic look, especially in the movies. In the MCU, I wish they kept the Homecoming suit all throughout Spider-Man's appearances. I think it's the closest thing we have to a very comic accurate suit in the big screen. I'm actually not that big of a fan of the glove design in the Far From Home suit. While I do appreciate that Spider-Man's suit here is red and black to pay homage to his original appearance, I don't like the design of the gloves. Every time I see those gloves, I just think that glove design is just Miles Morales' design. So yeah, I think that design belongs to Miles Morales. But that's just me. That's just my opinion. I also know that the reason behind why Spider-Man has so many suits in the MCU is because Marvel and Disney need to sell toys. While Sony owns the live-action film and TV rights to the character, Marvel and Disney own the merchandising and animated TV rights, provided that each appearance is not more than 40 minutes long. So yeah, hence many suits. Let's go over the articulation for this Spider-Man figure. So Spidey can look up that far. There's a little gap here beneath his jaw, but I think it's something that he can work around with. Spidey can also look down. His neck rotates. There's a little forward-backward shifting motion here. And he also has this nice neck pivot. Yeah, that looks very good. His arms can move upward very far, a little over the 90-degree mark. And he can bend them all the way as well. Nice butterfly joints here. You can pivot his shoulders forward and backward as well. Shoulders can rotate 360. He has a bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows. His wrist can rotate and move up and down, so we get the same wrist articulation with the flipping hands. So this is where it gets interesting. This Spider-Man figure has both a diaphragm pivot and an ab crunch. So with the diaphragm pivot, you can move him sideways like that, and you can bend him forward and backward as well. But combined with the ab crunch, Spider-Man can bend forward very far and very far backwards as well. Spider-Man needs to be very flexible. So yeah, I like that they added both the diaphragm pivot and the ab crunch on this figure. His legs can move upward very far and backward as well. His hips can move outward very far. Yeah, that looks very good. He has a thigh cut here. Double jointed knees. He has calf rotation as well. His ankles do move up and down as well, and he also has ankle pivot. Just another thing to note here, he can also pull his legs downward to make room for more articulation here. You can do that on either of his legs, so yeah, I like that. Man, I love the level of articulation that they gave us with this Spider-Man figure. I think of all the figures that I currently have in my collection, both MCU and comic and video games, I think this Spider-Man figure is my most articulated one yet. This is also the figure that I play around with most of the time. Now for some figure comparisons, here's the comic classic suit Spider-Man next to some MCU Spider-Man figures that I currently have. We have the Stark suit from Captain America Civil War and Spider-Man Homecoming, the Iron Spider from Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, the stealth suit, and the upgraded suit from Spider-Man Far From Home. So yeah, I really wish they kept the red and blue design for Spider-Man suit in the MCU. I hope that Spider-Man No Way Home ends with a shot of Spider-Man in his classic suit looking over New York City. And if you have the Tom Holland head from this Infinity War Iron Spider figure, you can also try that out. The head sculpt actually fits in well, but I think the body here might be a little too buff for this Tom Holland head sculpt. And here's the classic suit Spider-Man next to some Spider-Man villains that I currently have. We have Scorpion and the MCU Mysterio from the Molten Man Build-A-Figure wave, Tombstone from the Spider-Man Homecoming wave, and this Marvel Legends comic Venom. So yeah, I really do hope to see this classic suit captured perfectly on the big screen. So that's my review of the Marvel Legends Retro Wave Classic Suit Spider-Man. I think this figure is amazing. I love the paint apps, sculpt, and articulation that we got on this figure. His accessories are a bit lacking though, so yeah, I think Hasbro needs to improve on that. I think they could have at least given us an alternate pair of wall crawling hands as well. Regardless, I just really love this figure. If you ask me if you want just one Spider-Man figure for your collection, whatever it is, be it movie or comic, I think you should get this figure either way. Yeah, it is really good. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of this figure. Let me know what you think of my review. Please leave a comment below. And if you like this video, hit that like button. And if you still haven't, hit that subscribe as well as the notification bell. You can also follow me on social media, links in the description below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.